Hope is an elusive reality. Hope is believing not in what we have, but in what we wish to have. Because of this, some people dismiss hope as an illusion. But hope is a part of being human. Why do we hope that we will live to see our children's children? Why do we hope at the beginning of the season that our team will make the playoffs? Why do we hope that someone we love who is sick will recover? We hope because we know that good things are not limited to what we already have. More good is possible. More good may come. Without hope, would we work 2 jobs to provide a future for our family? Would we give of our time and resources to fight poverty, protect human life, or preserve the environment? Without hope, would anyone try yet again for peace in the Middle East? Most people would be surprised to hear that hope is the essential context in which to understand Jesus. Christians believe many things about Jesus. We believe that he is fully human and fully divine and equal to the Father as the second person of the Blessed Trinity. We believe that Jesus is a miracle worker, a faithful Jew, a teacher of wisdom, a savior from sin, risen from the dead, the Lord of the cosmos. The list goes on and on. But it is hope that most clearly shows Jesus' importance. And that hope is in the victory of God. Christians believe that God is fiercely opposed to all that is evil in the world and intends to establish a kingdom of justice, peace, and life. To attain that kingdom, God chooses to work through an anointed one, who in Hebrew is Messiah, and in Greek, Christ. The reason that Jesus is so important to Christianity is that Christians believe that he is that anointed one, the Christ. God's victory over evil through Christ lies at the heart of Christianity. It is a positive and optimistic conviction, but many see it as illusion, because a quick look around our world confirms that evil is still here. There's an ancient Jewish story about a rabbi who prayed daily for the coming of the Messiah. One day his disciples came to his study and said, "Master, the Messiah has come. The Messiah has come. We must go to greet him." So the rabbi put on his coat and began to follow his disciples through the streets of the city to the place where the Messiah was to be. But on his way, he saw in an alley a young child, hungry and homeless. The rabbi stopped, went over, picked up the child, and began to go home. His disciples objected. "Master," they said, "you can care for that child later, but for now, we must greet the Messiah." The rabbi shook his head and said, "As long as I can find one such child as this, the Messiah has not yet come." Christians believe that the Messiah has come, and he is Jesus. But many sincere and intelligent people might be tempted to sympathize with the rabbi. They may question, how can Jesus be God's Messiah when God's victory over evil is not in sight? This is a serious question. Christians answer it by saying that God's victory is yet to come. We believe that the defeat of evil definitively began in the resurrection of Jesus, but that it will not be complete until God acts again in a decisive way. Paul tells the Corinthians that God's victory is in the future, but God will not fail to attain it. In time, God will transform all of creation through Christ so that God may be all in all. Paul's words, that God may be all in all, are his way of expressing the elimination of all that is wrong in our world. God will be all in all because every part of creation will be filled with justice, goodness, and peace. This makes Christianity at its core a religion of hope. The gospel that Christians proclaim is not primarily a moral system or a devotional effort. It is an assertion of hope that the victory of God will one day be complete. Of course, hope such as this requires faith. It is a much bigger stretch to believe that God will transform the world than our team will win the World Series. But God's ultimate victory is the hope to which Christians cling. And Christians understand that as we wait for God to act, we must act ourselves, joining with all people of goodwill to build a better world. Like others, we hope that our actions will succeed. But Christians add a religious dimension to human hope. For we believe that Jesus is the Christ. We believe that a day will come when our actions are caught up into God's greater actions, when God's love will triumph, when God will be all in all.